In this video, I want to give an overview of how the change management of Metric 42 works. Let's go into the self-service portal with the user Maria Miller and request a new change. So here we are able to report an issue, like an incident, like a ticket and service request, or we can directly request a new change in RFC. And now we are able to fill out different information. The summary could be that performance on SAP server is slow. And in our description text, we give the information we have to change the CPU. Okay, so but we have to integrate additional information. Select the affected users or the related services. Related service could be our SAP service, perfect, and the affected asset could be our SAP server. Okay, let's save the information. Okay, and now we provided the RFC, the request for change. And in the order progress, we see that in the first step, our change manager have to agree the RFC and convert or transform it into a real change. So let's close the self-service portal, go into the service, the server, and open again the unified user experience with Winston Valentine. Here we have to go to the service desk. Okay, when we are in the service desk, we go into the changes, and here we see different changes. We have the slow performance on our SAP server, and here it is, non-standard change with the SAP performance. As I said, in the first step, we have to agree the change. So go on the right side on the action bar, and here we can agree the change after a short analyzing. Agree it. Here we have to choose the right template, a non-standard change template, agree the change, and perfect. And now, based on the workflow in the background, different actions will be forced. In this step, we have a step-by-step tasks which guides you through the change. In the first step, we have to analyze it. In the second step, we have to approve the whole change process. And after the approval step, we go into the implementation of the change, of course. So let's take a look at the change. Let's click on it, edit the information, and here we have all information related to the change. When we go into the activities, we see, okay, for the moment we don't have any change approvals open, but we have here a special task where a user has to analyze the change. In our demo system, at this use case, just one user, Winston Valentine, has to work on every task. Normally in the change process, different roles will be integrated in the change management process, different persons, different change managers, and so on. Okay, but now we go into the task, and here we see, okay, we have to analyze the task. Okay, it was requested via portal. We have to solve it. If we want to if we close the task successfully, and if we want to go into the next step of the change. Okay, so go into the task. No, first we have to analyze it, of course. Clear. So general, we see user Maria Miller. Okay, perfect. We have to go into the risks. Known risk, counteraction, rollback strategies, every information we can fill out here. Known risks that the CPU isn't compatible with hardware. It could be counteraction, could be set up backup server, or the rollback strategy could be here, use the old slow CPU. Okay. When we go into the resource planning, the cost limitation, the total cost could be 5,000 euros. The right resources are 3 working days. And the timeline, we want to start with this change next week. And it could take up to Friday. So, perfect. So, let's save it. And now the analysis is done. When we now go back into the task, we can close the task. Okay, perfect. Analyzed. Can track the time and close this task. Okay, so the task was successfully closed. And then we go into the next step of this change based on the workflow in the background. Let's click on it. And here we see, okay, we have, where it is, we have a new change approval. We see it here. When we go into the details of the change, into the activities, we see, okay, now we have an open change approval. So now we can log on as Frank Fryer again. And with Frank, we go into the self-service portal, because this could be one way to approve the change. Let's go into the management area, take a look at the change overview. No, it's a decision overview. And here we see, okay, here's our new change, performance on SAP server is slow. Let's click on it and get detailed information about the change. What are the total costs? What is the planned starting date? What are the costs, and so on. Okay, the total effort, 3 days, perfect. Okay, sounds good. Yep, I want to approve it. That's okay. Okay, and now after the successful approval step, we see now we are in the implementation step. And after the implementation, we go in the review and so on. All the information are based on workflows in the background. And later I want to go with you into the Workflow Studio directly with you, so you can edit the workflow, how these tasks works, which ways this change is going. Okay. Then let's sign out and log on again as Winston Valentine. Go into the service desk, take a look at the changes, and now we can open the change calendar. And on the change calendar, we see when we go into the month, okay, perfect. Here's our change. Sounds good. Click on it, and now the change is directly available. And in the task, we see, okay, now we have 2 tasks open. Let's click on it. First, we have to analyze the change. Okay, we have successfully done it. And now we are in the implementation step. And this, we have to implement the change. We have to change the CPU. And after the changing, we can also close it. Done. Perfect. Time tracking, close. And now the workflow goes into the next step. Let's refresh it. And here we see, okay, perfect. Now we are, where is this? We have the 3rd task, so we have to test it. Yeah, and that's all how the change management workflow works, the change management process.